You're getting my point, aren't you? I'm watching videos wherever, however, whenever, and on whatever I want. Believe it or not, you can do that too with an old computer you found at the bottom of the desk drawer and just a couple of clicks. With the help of Jellyfin, storing, organizing, and streaming your favorite holiday, wedding, or GoPro videos is super easy. And I know that self-hosting a media server might sound like a daunting task, but trust me, even I'm still surprised how easy it really is. So what's Jellyfin? The landing page quote describes it the best. Jellyfin is a volunteer-built media solution that puts you in control of your media. Stream to any personal device from your own server with no strings attached. Your media, your server, and your way. The bottom line is, if it's your holiday video, an ebook, a sound file, or a picture, you can stream it through Jellyfin to pretty much any other personal device. On top of that, it's very easy to set up on multiple operating systems and has client apps for pretty much anything out there. Just to refresh on what exactly Meshnet does. It creates a direct connection between any device in the same Meshnet network, as if they were right next to each other using the very same Wi-Fi, and by doing so, it lets you share files, play games, access remote desktops, and route your traffic through other devices with no hassle. But how exactly NordVPN Meshnet will help us with this then? Most importantly, we'll use Meshnet to access our Jellyfin from anywhere in the world. The main benefit of Meshnet is certainly the fact that you can forget about reverse proxies, dynamic DNSs, port forwarding, SSL certificates, and domain names. This means that instead of trying to troubleshoot your network configuration for the 50th time, you can just enjoy your personal media server with a couple of clicks. Keep one thing in mind. Sharing access to your personal media server or your Meshnet network with strangers will put you at risk. Sharing access to such things should be limited to friends and family. First, I'm going to need a server. Once I've got a server running, I can grab and set up other devices that will act as clients. I've got a couple of laptops which I rarely use, which are fairly new. However, I've seen people host their Jellyfin media server on low-spec Intel CPUs like Atom. You could even go as far as to use a Raspberry Pi for this, as I hear they're slowly coming back into stock with reasonable prices. If you choose to go with a Raspberry Pi, I can only suggest grabbing an additional storage device to store your media on. I'll start with a Windows machine, but steps for a Linux machine will follow shortly. I'll grab the installer from the download section of the Jellyfin website. Make sure to get the latest stable 64-bit version. After completing the download, run the installer, select the installation directory, and wait for the installation to finish. Let's fast forward through the installation. Once installed, make sure to accept the firewall prompt. You can access Jellyfin at localhost:8096. Now, before we go through with the configuration wizard, let's set up a video library. I'll create a Windows folder called Jellyfin Library and drop my video inside. With that done, we'll head back to Jellyfin and continue with the configuration. First, set up the user. Then we'll add the media library, choose the content type, and point it to the right folder. And that's it! You can go ahead and access your videos now. If you haven't installed the NordVPN app yet, go ahead and download the installer, create an account, and log in. Head over to the Meshnet tab and remember the name of your Jellyfin server device. Now, for those of you who want to host the Jellyfin media server on your Linux machines, there are two main ways to do it. You can either deploy it in a Docker container or directly to your machine. I recommend setting up a virtual machine, and while that's going to be more involving, this allows for a little more flexibility. I'm using KVM QEMU to set up mine. If you'd like to set up and use a different hypervisor, you can try Proxmox. Be sure to check out the guide and our documentation. As with other guides, you'll find the link in the description below the video. In your terminal of choice, grab this command and run it. And while the script is running, let's talk about what it really does. The authors of the scripts were kind enough to leave a lot of comments within the file. Without going into too much detail, it checks if you're trying to run it on a supported machine and operating system, looks for all the tools it needs to work, and if it doesn't find them, installs them for you. Once it has everything it needs, it installs the latest stable version of Jellyfin. And once it's done installing, it checks if Jellyfin is actually started and prints the Jellyfin IP address. All we have to do now is follow the configuration wizard. The only main difference here is that our media folder has to have the correct permissions so that our Jellyfin instance can access it. You should be able to do that through the GUI or by using the combination of the following commands. With Jellyfin running in the background, we'll need a way to access it remotely. Luckily, NordVPN Meshnet is here. Setting up the Linux NordVPN app is very straightforward too. You can use the installation script we've prepared by pasting the following command into your terminal. Open up the Nord account page in your web browser, and at the bottom of the welcome page, you'll find the View Details button in the NordVPN Meshnet free section. Then, click on the Setup NordVPN manually. That menu will allow you to create a token, which we'll use to log into your NordVPN account through the terminal. Make sure to store the token because once you close the window, it won't be displayed again. I'm using the NordPass Secure Notes feature to store mine. You can also use a web browser to log in if you're running a GUI. Once you generate a token, head over to your terminal and input the following. Let's make sure that Meshnet is enabled. And check the address of our device within the Meshnet. Everything looks good. But one thing. We humans, as opposed to robots, AIs, and machines, find names more familiar than numbers. So let's set up a reverse proxy for our Jellyfin media server so that we don't have to remember all the numbers. This is an additional step, so if you don't feel like setting this up, you can skip it and just stick to using your Meshnet hostname and the assigned port, which by default is 8096. For those of you who are running a virtual machine as I do, you can install Nginx directly on your VM with the following command. Once the package is installed, we can configure the default website. Within the configuration file, we'll need to find a couple of settings. First, let's make sure we're listening on port 80. Then, we'll add the server name, and in our case, that's going to be our Meshnet hostname for the Jellyfin server. Last, but certainly not least, we'll add the location we want our reverse proxy to point to, which is port 8096 of our Jellyfin server, and save the file. Remember to reload Nginx once we're done with the configuration file. Cool, now that we've got our servers running, we can add some client devices to our Meshnet. And just to show you how accessible it is, we're going to use a MacBook as our client device for one of the servers and an Android device for another one. All you have to do now is install the NordVPN app. Log in and make sure that your Meshnet is on. With everything running, you can grab the IP or the Nord name of either of the servers running the Jellyfin media server and just paste it into your browser. And just like that, it works. Now let's say you want to show the videos from your holidays in Norway to your grandma while you're both at a family reunion. But you only have your phone with you. Fear not. The phone in your hand is all you need. You can either use the web browser or download the Jellyfin app from the App Store. Just the same as with macOS. Add one of the servers we're running on the laptops. Once you log in, you'll have the access to your videos, which you can stream from anywhere in the world. And for those of you who want to watch your media on a TV, no sweat. Both Jellyfin and NordVPN can be easily installed on an Android TV device. And as promised, the installation process is extremely streamlined and is straightforward, thanks to all of the installation scripts provided. There's also plenty of supported platforms so that everyone can use Jellyfin on pretty much any device. If you liked the video, make sure to like it and subscribe for more. If you want to see something specific in the next videos, let me know in the comments below the video.